Hey guys, this is John, and I'm playing T-Rex in the 1 minute pool on ICC. I waited forever to get this game, so let's make it an open Sicilian and make this interesting. I have the chance to advance d5, so I'm going to do that, and I might even pump the pawn all the way down to d6. He did stop that, though. Alright, so we're in some sort of Benoni formation. I think I'm going to fianchetto my light square bishop and probably try to put this guy on c4. That's the plan for now, and I think he's going to go for f5, which makes a lot of sense. Let's play a5 just to clamp. And I'm going to go h3, maybe g4. I'd love to win this light square bishop if I could. That seems like a far-fetched goal at the moment, though. Okay, so here I'm going to try to jump my knight into c6. After they play knight takes b6, this move is definitely on. Maybe bishop d7 is what he should do. But knight c6, I think I will take that transaction because I get to win that light square bishop. I'm attacking the a6 pawn. I don't think he wants to take here due to discoveries like knight takes e5. So everything's looking up for me. Take here. Bishop takes d5, now a threat. Let's follow through with that. Can I mate him? Knight g6, not quite mate. Although it's very close, actually. Knight f7, also not quite mate. I think I'm just going to play bishop f4. I wanted to go knight g6, queen g4, try to transfer pieces over. Queen h5 was probably my best bet there. All right, let's just drop this back. Still up 2 pawns. Let's go queen over here. Maybe rook a7 I can shoot for. Yeah, rook a7 coming up next if black doesn't stop it. Okay, I'm going to do something a little weird. Let's try to prop up that knight on e5. I'm still looking for rook a7, even now. Finally get this move in. Let's push that guy, and rook a8 probably coming next. We're going to be safe. Take. He's way down on time. All right, so we take that first game. Started working out well for me after he pushed b5. I think b5 is a mistake. If black just sits there, though, what am I going to do next? That was the big question, because black does have a nice pawn structure here. I mentioned the importance of this light square bishop. I just love to win that piece because black has some light square holes, like e6. But I don't see a good way to do that. Maybe I would reposition this knight to e4, like knight d2 to e4, try to attack d6 if black did nothing. But this is instructive, especially if you play d4 and get into Benoni positions. When black goes b5, it looks active, right? But after this, we get knight a5 in, and that c6 weakness is glaring. We're just going to land a knight in there. So we take the first game against T-Rex from Canada. And before I forget, congratulations to Chessbra, Eric Hansen, who at the recently completed Olympiad had a spectacular event. He scored 9 points out of 11, and his performance rating was real high. Him and Anton Kovalyov were the 2 highest scoring players for Team Canada. And I should also mention congratulations to Team USA, of course. They won the gold medal. They were the, I think, highest rated team or second highest rated team to start off the Olympiad. So big achievement for us here in the US because we haven't won an Olympiad forever in the open section. So happy to see the teams from North America doing well. But definitely want to extend a special congrats to Eric because he's a friend of mine and he's a fellow YouTuber, and I'm always rooting for him to do well. Felix Jose 96. Well, you guys know what to do. Let's play a Scandi. I'm going to play a knight f6 Scandi. Bummer he played that move. Knight f3. Knight f3 is always a buzzkill against the Scandinavian, in almost any form. Black shouldn't be much worse, if at all, in this. But it takes some of the fun out of the lines I had in mind. So I want to win this c4 pawn. Yeah, and he just put a stop to that. But if white hadn't played that, I was going to play bishop takes e4. Can I take here? No, I think I should go back. Let's see what he does. a5, a4 maybe now. I'm fond of this plan, running with the pawn. He's going to trade some stuff in the center. I could take. I think I'm going to play knight b4 instead. Yeah, let's do that. Try to attack this pawn. I think I have to take... Oh, that's a good move by him. Very good move. Did not see that coming. Okay, I'm going to take here. This is going to get weird. And probably not so much in my favor. Yeah, he played a calm response there. Yeah, now I'm just going to be losing material. And I'm way down on time. Man, I'm rusty. Okay, let's take here. I'm still going to play this one out because I need to work out some of the bugs in my game, apparently. Playing so slow. D5, D6 just caught me by surprise completely. Utter collapse after that. So if I win this, it'll be remarkable. Bishop D3 is a good move. Yeah, he can just go after the rook. Wow, I didn't take it. Okay, I'm down a rook, but I might as well try for some sort of weird perpetual or something. Okay, that's about it. We just got smoked that game. No two ways about it. And he immediately challenged me to a bullet game, so he must think I'm ripe for the picking, which is possibly true. But D5, D6 was a nice idea by white. Completely underestimated this. Just didn't even underestimate it, really. Just didn't even see it. The fact that after C takes D6, my knight on B4 is hanging. So D6 severed the coordination between the bishop on E7 and the knight on B4. Losing material. Even if I take with the bishop, knight takes D6 is going to hurt. So nicely played. Let's get back in there. How's the 1 minute pool doing lately? We've got Wesley So sitting on the top spot. Apparently he's had some time to play recently despite the Olympiad. Darnok Conrad Holt is in second. And Sergei Zhigalko occupying that third spot. Kalmiek, I think this is, yeah, Sugirov. So a host of GMs at the top. Lots of familiar faces. As usual, some untitled players. Lance 5500, I think that he also plays on Lee Chess. This guy, unknown Russian player. Okay, charkikan. I'm going to focus on speed in this game. Need to build that back up. Let's play this and go for D5 if possible. Yeah, let's play D5. Barrel ahead. I'm going to try to embarrass this knight. It's already kind of awkwardly placed, but probably didn't play this so correctly, but all right. Maybe trying to go for E4. This move is going to hurt now. Okay, now I'm thoroughly in trouble again already. This is not getting any better either. Knight takes E2 is possible for black. That wins the rook down on A1. I'm going to try to whip up some trouble on his king side, but yeah, not good. Maybe my A pawn, maybe I can put some hope in that. Even still looking pretty bad. He wanted C4 there, I think. Not sure I would have done that if I were him, but probably not bad. Okay. Let's put this up here. Got to get my pawns going. That's the only hope. He has rook takes C2 now. Also, yeah, he still has rook takes C2. Although the pawns are getting a little more difficult to deal with. Let's just keep advancing this. Now B7 is a big threat. Here, B7 still threatened. I might just swindle this game. It's possible. Let's keep going. Yeah, A7 coming. Take that. And this should be enough to win. Check. No stalemates or anything. All right, terrible game. He completely outplayed me at the beginning. So maybe after knight A5, I should have played this better in a smarter way. B5 is coming, though. So black's idea of rook B8 combined with A6 looking for B5 might be working out. I'll have to keep that in mind in this type of setup. I haven't seen that before. I mean, I've seen it before in King's Indian positions. This is maybe a King's Indian by transposition. I have played this B3, Bishop B2 idea with knight f3 on move 1 as the move order. It's kind of odd looking, but I mean, it's definitely a known plan. I just haven't seen it in this exact position. But yeah, I was getting destroyed. Bishop d7 followed by taking on a4 was smart for him. Eliminates that bishop, and then knight c4 gets the dark square bishop. I lost my entire center. My rook on a1 is going to be lost. He could take that right here. He probably should have. Knight c3 was also fine. He took it after this too. Yeah, and somehow got back in the game here. Those A and B pawns proved useful. Back in the action. Sorry for the lack of posting lately. Been doing a lot of responsible adult stuff. Life just getting in the way. I try not to abandon you guys for too long a stretch, though. This is the highest rated 1-minute game going on. Charkikan and Pretzel Attack. It's about 10 o'clock p.m. right now on Wednesday evening. So white has the triple isolated pawns, but black's king is stuck in the center. So now he can take on d6 and castle. But Charkikan puts a stop to that. That was a good idea. This player has a name, russischschwine, something like that. Let's go knight a6. Try to take this pawn. I'm going to go here and attack this bishop, just see what he does with that. Occupy the center, too. So, odd opening. He kind of randomly threw in bishop takes f6 there. So now I get to expand. This looks nice. Let's put this knight here. I don't want to trade knights quite yet. I feel like I can try to squeeze him with my bishop pair and strong center now. Gotta play fast, though, as usual. Let's go knight c4, attack the b2 pawn. Go here, bishop d3, then e4 is a problem. So yeah, he's probably having to just give up an exchange. And now we're going to open the position. Knight e4, I'll just pull the bishop back to g7. And prepare for exchanges. Let's go here. Yeah, he's trying to set up a mini blockade on e4. But we have f5 to further kick him back. Let's go here. Missed that move. It's nasty. Try to disrupt the structure, although I just hung g6. I don't know about the wisdom of this. I'm not going to bother recapturing this yet. Let's go here. Check. Okay, take. I can just do this. Okay. Yeah, now you ought to lose a bunch of material. Check. Let's just trap his knight. This piece can't escape. Actually, it can. No sooner had I said that than it did escape. Oh, gosh. I'm so slow. Can you guys tell how slow I am? Oh. All right, I'll take it. Yeah, just very, very slow there at the end. We did get 60 moves in, but that's a game I would normally expect to win. Missed knight f6. Whoops. Fork on the king and the queen. Also missed knight d6 earlier. Those pesky knights. And then I tried to rush my h-pawn down the board, create some play against his king. I mean, realistically, he can just ignore this move, h5. He can just take one of my rooks. Like h4. Even if I got h3 and he could just play bishop f1 and cover the g2 square. f4 is pretty darn risky because g6 is now loose too. But hey, in a bullet game, I'm sure it's playable. Yeah, and then winning after this. Fun game so far. Smooth G, wow. I remember this user. Haven't seen this player for a really, really long time. I remember this user from when I started playing on ICC like 15 plus years ago. It's weird running into people online that you've previously known. Yet I don't know this person, him or her in person. Never met them. Bishop takes h6 looks good for white, threatening mate on g7. Yeah, white has a big attack here. Knight h4 probably. Attack the bishop, attack g6. Queen takes d3 could be played now. Okay, DFSStar. Getting paired way down. But I deserve it because I'm not playing well. Let's play bishop g5, make this sharp. Bishop out to d3. Let's castle. So we have a QGD-esque position. Black's going to play bishop b7, try for c5 most likely. So I should attempt to stop c5, but I don't know if I'll have time. We'll find out. Let's take here first, just to try to deflect one of his pieces away. Now I'm going to go here. The a2 pawn could be loose, however. If he takes it, yeah, that's a gutsy decision. Like, his queen might get trapped now, but the onus is on me to actually trap it somehow. So bishop there is a good start. Yeah, and he just dropped the queen. Not sure he had anything else there, though. All right, he resigned. Bishop e7 is supposed to be kind of an inferior move to the main moves, which are d takes c4 and also h6 and knight bd7, which can lead to the Cambridge Springs variation. So d takes c4, h6, and knight bd7 are the main choices. Bishop e7, on the other hand, does take the game into QGD, Queen's Gambit decline territory, where black has already played c6, which may not be the best move to have inserted for black. Is kind of the essence of why I think black's a little bit worse in this line. And this is a useful technique to know right here, by the way. So black is gunning for c5. They have this bishop on b7. They want to open it. So by playing bishop takes f6, I make sure that one of their minor pieces has to be deflected away from the c5 square. Unless black wants to play g takes f6, which I think is even worse. That would weaken their king pretty significantly. So force them to take with one of the pieces, and then try to blockade that square. The square immediately in front of the pawn. And I was hitting the bishop on b7. So can black get their queen out here? Maybe not. Maybe just bishop c4 is coming. Queen c2 is necessary because I got to guard b2. So I think black is in big trouble. He could play b3. b3, I have queen a5, queen c3 rather, looking for rook a5. Yeah, and the queen is still in dire straits. So how would this go? b3, queen c3, a5, stopping rook a5. And white has a lot of compensation and is clearly better according to the computer. It's interesting. Back in the pool. Okay, gradually getting some title players in the mix here. Johanna and Grobdag. I made the mistake of playing the Grob against this player one time. It didn't turn out well. They probably get that a lot based on their username. So mental note, do not play the Grob against Grobdag. This looks nice for black. Knight c2 coming, anchored by the pawn on d3. So white has to move their rook away. So what white will probably be doing now is trying to get rid of this d3 pawn somehow, or get rid of the knight. Yeah, like knight e1 looking to trade. They got to defeat that intruder. Still like black's position, definitely. This bishop on c1 is out of play. Maybe white should send it to b2 or a3. Okay, so now white's managed to trade a little bit. e4, still emphasizing the fact that d3 is a strength for black. f3, undermining. That's going to force a capture. Yeah, even in bullet, you can see the patterns, like the way a good player thinks. Most of white's decisions thus far have been driven by the desire to trade and try to strand this pawn on d3. Like every single swap that happens, white's getting closer to eventually winning this pawn. Now if the queens come off the board, queen takes d5, knight takes d5, probably knight f4, that pawn will be lost sooner or later. Now white could even take it if they want, but their activity is so great that they're probably going to hold off on that for a little bit. And Grobdag has no time. Yep, there he goes now. Queen takes d3 finally. Probably queen back to d5, propose another trade. Okay, reverse flash, next opponent. Yeah, this is a quick player. Can I do this, though? Yes, I can. So they fell for the knight takes e4 trick, which does happen from time to time. Now I'm looking for knight d3, so reverse flash played really fast in the first few moves and is probably paying a price now. Let's go take this. I'm just going to develop at this point. Probably not play knight d3, at least for the time being. Ooh, I got to be careful about my queen. Rook g5. Should not have invited that move. Now I'm going to lose a piece. This is not going to be fun. Knight e5 do I have, though? Okay, I'm going to try it. If this works, it's only because of pure luck. I did not plan this. Okay, but now I can take here, check. And after bishop takes, take here. So their queen is under attack. They got to move that away. And knight e4 maybe coming next move. Or that. Check, bishop e4. Not quite working. Guess I have to go here. With knight e4 in mind. What a weird game already. Could have also played queen takes f2. Queen takes f2 followed by knight e4 check. I'll have to remember that. Okay, let's take here. Let's give it check. Let's take over the file. Gotta play quicker. Definitely gotta play quicker. Let's go for h6, f4 probably coming up soon. Oh no, don't do that. Okay, we get rook d1 in. I almost blundered with pre-moving something like right here. He was setting up for bishop c3, I noticed, and canceled my pre-move, so I played king f7. And luckily got in rook d1. This is a good trick to remember. So white can't play e4 here due to what happened in the game. The capture and then knight takes. And if knight takes e4, then I can trade on d1. Knight takes e4, queen takes d1, rook takes d1, bishop takes e4. Black wins a pawn. I've had that trap many times in my games. So white needs to prepare that attack better. That's why a lot of times you see white playing queen e1 instead of rook e1. So that when e4 does come, then there will be no issues with the queen on d1 hanging in lots of lines. Johanna and Grobdeg at it again. Looks like a time scramble is on the verge here. I like white with the c-pawn for sure. Dangerous c-pawn, although now black can eliminate this knight at least. And then play rook c8, try to hold out. Looks like Grobdeg is kind of slow in time pressure, though. I think they just lost on time. There's some cool tactics in that last game I played, too. I should go back and look at that, maybe. Nero is the next opponent. Okay, let's go here. Try to win this pawn. I'm going to play a5 just so white can't ever play b4. Secure that knight. I'm going to go a4 even. This invites them to try something with the b-pawn. It's going to go there. All right, let's attack this guy. Probably b3 should be played. It's going to do that instead. Okay, so now back to this. Try to attack b2 as well with my bishop. Queen a6. Let's go here. I'm going to send my knight into b2. I'm not quite sure why, but it looks attractive, so I'm going to do it. Eventually, I'd like to win the a2 pawn. My a3 pawn is close to promotion in an endgame. Let's do this. Now I've got to pass c-pawn, but he's going to win my a pawn, unfortunately for me. Guess we're going to have some swaps here. Who's better? I do not know. It's probably just even. Picks off that pawn, but I'm going to win this guy. Yeah, this is just a completely dead equal endgame. All right, I took his draw offer. Lots of fireworks led to material equality there. Just checking to see if around this point I had anything. Knight c2 is good because now he's attacking a3 and also c5. Can't really save both of those pawns. So I chapped on b5, he took on c5, I took on e2, he took on c5. Yeah, this is probably just equal. I missed that my b pawn was hanging right here. Probably should have played b5 or something, but this also ended up winning the pawn. He can't play bishop d5 due to knight takes d5. Not sure about d takes c5 in the opening. Usually white does not want to play that way because black can get the pawn back pretty easily. But it worked out fine for white in the game. I thought in response to my rushing a pawn, white should play b3 right around here. b3 or b4. Let's say b4 hitting the knight. A takes b3, a takes b3, and then try to go b4 again. Eventually kick this guy out. Instead, he played knight b5 followed by knight d5. It seemed like I had some initiative going on the queen side, but it didn't amount to anything. About that game I just played a couple games ago. Let's go into examine mode on this one. So there were some cool tactics possible when I overlooked rook g5. So right around here, rook g5, my queen, if it goes to h6, he has rook takes f5. I didn't like the look of that. So I counterattacked with knight e5. I'm just curious what the engine thinks about that. Yeah, knight e5 is the best move right there. And then queen takes d8. And I should just take. Rook takes d8, I suppose, due to rook takes h5, rook d1 check. And I'll win back a piece, probably with a big initiative, too. Yeah, so if here, check, white has to block, and I'll get either his knight or his bishop. YLR 5000. So we got a Catalan on our hands. Let's play queen c2, regain that pawn. This seems to be the preferred Catalan approach for most players these days. This queen c2 variation with a4 thrown in to stop b5. Let's go here and take this if we can. Get the knight into c6. Such a beautiful knight, though. I don't want to give it up easily. I'm going to play bishop here and see what he does. Let's pull this back. So I'm going to some extreme lengths to keep my knight on c6, but it looks annoying for black, so I guess I'll do it for now. Let's play e3, just put a stop to f4 ideas. Yeah, knight d8. Still trying to blockade on c6, even inviting a trade. e6 is loose, but he'll probably defend it. Let's try for e4 now. And hopefully attack c7 in some capacity. Bring the king up a little bit. Let's play a5, just see how he reacts to that. And go after this guy. So you can win my h2 pawn, but I'm going to win this one. I'm sort of playing for an initiative right here. Let's give a check. Now we're going to go win e6. This is nice. He has a check here if he wants. Not sure it does all that much. Let's bring this back. Okay. So we got the better of him right at the end. I do think this endgame is favorable to white. Even though I have the double isolated a-pawns, I like my center advantage. 2 center pawns versus black's 1. And also the pressure on c7. So I somehow think I'm a tad bit better here. Engine says about half a pawn. Tried to keep that knight outposted on c6. I could have taken on e7 at various moments, but that was my star piece, so I didn't want to trade it for either of black's minor pieces, bishop or knight. Unless black forced me to, which he eventually did with knight d8, followed by a swap here. But this endured even into the endgame. It was kind of annoying for black to deal with the rook on c6 and the c-file pressure. Okay, I'm going to play 2 or 3 more games and then call it a session. Let me go back to that one other game. Just one more thing I wanted to check in this one. After queen takes d8 was played. So what's going on after knight takes f3? As I played in the game. Oh, got another game. Okay, Felix Jose, we got to get some revenge in this one. He's again playing that move. I hate that move. I'm doing something a little different this time around. Let's play an early h6 as a hedge against knight h4. And he's going to do the same thing, interestingly. Let's look for a swap here. Same thing as in pushing his d-pawn. Let's play rook b8, just more protection of this guy. Can maybe think about knight c6 in the future, but for now it looks to me like he's making a few weaknesses. Not sure I like what he's up to. Looking for knight c5. Okay, let's go here. Probably going to swing the rook over to g3. So I've had to make some weaknesses in my position. Yeah, it looks like he has a little bit of an initiative. I'm trying to coordinate. Yeah, he wants queen in. What can I do about that? I guess I got to go here. Ah, but I dropped this. Oh boy, that can be costly. Rook g7 looking good. Yikes, this is bad. Yeah, this is over, basically. We'll try that move. That doesn't work at all. Nice attack by him. So see how he forced some weaknesses in my position? Rook g3 hitting g7. And gradually I had to start making concessions, moving my pawns onto light squares, which opened the floodgates for him to attack on the dark squares. I had a decent position out of the opening in this one, though. I feel like my setup is very solid here. I played this type of position before. In fact, I did a game review of this type of setup recently, my game against Pratik Nahet from the Twin Ports Open, first round. In that case, I played an early bishop g4. This time I played bishop f5, but it's very similar. It'd be nice if I was ready to play knight c5 here, but I really don't want my bishop on c5. I'd rather have my knight within striking distance. So bishop c5 right here might be an error. Maybe I should just play bishop d6 straight away. Not sure why I didn't, actually. Okay, so Felix Jose has our number today. Yeah, after he got queen d2 in, this was looking nasty. I was racking my brain trying to figure out how to stop queen h6. I guess I can play queen f8, but I don't trust my position at this stage. It looks suspicious. I've already made too many weaknesses on the dark squares. Knight a4 is the best move. Knight a4 going after the dark square bishop, so I can take it in response to queen h6. That probably makes sense. Yeah, this is mate in 7 as played. Eval's looking okay for black right around there. Did I miss something? Rook takes e3 in this position. Wow. The computer loves that move. Rook takes e3 followed by what? Queen e7? Queen e8, it says. And it looks like the e3 pawn is very likely to fall. Huh. Exchange sacrifice. So getting rid of white's dark square bishop can bring that much advantage real quick. That's worth investigating. So me examine this. 1 second. So right here, if rook takes e3, the engine was just going crazy for black's position. F takes e3, queen e8. Go after this guy. Yeah, and was it this position, or maybe was it... I think it was forward a little bit more. Yeah, I liked it even better right here. After b7 was already defended. And now queen e8 again. And it's hard to defend. If king f2, probably queen up to e5, I imagine. Yep, queen e5. Idea rook e8. If that knight ever moves, then the bishop's also pointed at the e3 pawn. Okay, NOODLE-NAUT. I'm not having a good session rating-wise, but this is a lot of fun. Let's try to attack that d5 pawn really quick. This is probably a complete junk idea, but hey, it's bullet. Let's attack. Maybe even castle queenside. Again, because it's bullet. Oh, he's just asking for sacrifices here. I'm going to go for it and see what happens. Here, now we're threatening rook h8 check. Ah, and we get to do it too. Can't take with the bishop. He's got to take with the king and mate. Okay, well, at least we get to display a nice mating pattern right there. Can black defend at this point? Probably not after knight g5. I think rook h8 is coming regardless of what black does here. I almost said irregardless. And my English teacher from high school would kill me if I said that. But yeah, rook h8 is coming, and black can take on g5, but that's about the only defense I see. Yeah, queen takes g5, but +7 for white. Probably not a good plan what I did, though. Swapping on f6, playing queen b3. e6 is just too easy to deal with the pressure on d5. Then I spice things up by playing h-pawn, get Harry, enlist Harry into the game, push him forward to h5, start attacking. Ginger GM, hope you're proud of me. And it actually worked. What can I say? Black just closed his eyes to what was happening on the king side, and then I was crashing through. Already decisive. Okay, let's play one more game. Must be a better way to handle this position. Black hasn't developed a knight yet, and I have. I have pressure on d5, but I can't do anything about it. Probably just bishop f4. Yeah, computer likes bishop f4 as well. That's the normal move in exchange Slav setups. Bishop f4, e3, bishop d3, castles, rook to c1. All of those moves. Whoa, that's a heck of a username right here. Versus egg like knight e2. Okay, so black's threatening rook f1 mate. White creates an escape square. White should be good here. Maybe e6 now, threatening queen takes g7. White just plays it safe, goes for the exchange, which is also understandable. Now it's just going to be a time scramble, though. Yeah, bishop there. So now white's going to push the pawn. Black probably has to bring their rook back to defend. Now black's going to try to bring their king up, but white has tremendous king activity. See what egg-like did right there? They rushed their king up to the center as quickly as possible, and I think white was on the verge of winning that game. Okay, let's play a Sicilian for our final game. See if he wants to transpose into a con. Queen out to c7, knight f6. All the usual stuff. Against this one, I'm going to go with b5 right away. And I like my position already because I think the bishop is misplaced on f3. He's going to try to get his pawn up to f4 instead, most likely. Next, I'm looking for knight e5. We have like a quintessential con position right here. I can think about breaking with d5 very soon. I think I'm going to do that. Swap a couple minor pieces. Pressure down on this guy. Let's go here. Queen c6 is an idea. Knight d3 is an idea. Looks kind of nasty for him. Let's give a check. I guess I'm okay with a trade. Still have some pressure. Isn't as great as I was hoping, but still like my position. I think we can take that one. Let's go with e5 now. Take here. b3 should be falling. Might win g7, unfortunately for me. But as long as I don't get mated, I should be good. So don't get mated, John. Push your b-pawn aggressively. That move was probably not necessarily what I did, but just holds g7, and he ran out of time. So this setup that I aimed for was just like a Scheveningen setup. Scheveningen. And so I had my knights protecting each other, f6 and d7. Bishops arrayed on e7, b7, pressure down the c-file. This is a great setup to look for out of many Sicilians, but the Khan in particular. Quite frequently, you're trying to get this position heading into the middle game. And white had to waste a lot of time. Like, ideally, they'd be in a better position to strike with some of their pawns, like have the pawn up on f4 already, maybe me menacing e5, either now or even earlier. Having to play moves like a3 and the knight back to b3, bishop back to g2, it cost white a lot of time. And I was eventually able to break with d5, which is always a break you like to get in the Sicilian. All right, time to tabulate the results. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. It felt like I lost more games than I did, probably because there were so many close calls. And I don't think I played a player within 100, 150 rating points of me. This was the closest player, it looks like Nero. Yeah, and they were over 100 points lower. So lost rating points on the session, was pretty slow, but that's what I get for not really playing bullet chess for the past month plus. Fun session nonetheless. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope to be back with new videos coming up soon. So stay tuned, guys. And as always, thanks again for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.